Basically, we prepare the fighter. We get the fighter all rounded for the sport of MMA.
No, so this is definitely for fighting for MMA.
That is correct. But we also we do fitness training. We do different forms of cardio training as well. Many different things we incorporate down there to develop the human body in a positive sense.
How did you come about actually starting saying, okay, this is what I'm going to do?
Well, honestly, it took a quick turn. I was always involved in the sports of martial arts, different various ones in judo, even Muay Thai at a younger age, and going abroad and spending some time abroad and competing and so forth and being very successful. Came back to Trinidad and Tobago and I realized that, we had, there was room for developing the sport here in Trinidad. And I actually just wanted to train to compete. And whilst training, people saw me training and they were asking me to teach, to show them stuff. And I was like, I'm not a coach, I'm not a trainer. And, it just started from there. There was this one guy, I'd never forget him. His name is Vidal, and he pursued me relentlessly every day until one day the man actually showed up at my doorstep. And he said he's not leaving until I showed him a thing or two. So I just pushed aside my couch living room set and trained right there in the living room. So, and that is where it all started. After him, many more came after.
Was the mindset of training for yourself as an individual and moving that, evolving to saying, okay, actually growing others?
It's a completely different mindset, because when you're training for yourself, any professional athlete will tell you, it's a bit selfish. You're really zoned into you. You pay attention to everything, the diet, how much sleep you get in. It's really all about you, because you are basically training to be the best that you can be, and moving away from that into coaching, it's a different experience. I mean, it takes a different mindset, because now you have to take into consideration motivating someone else. So more than just motivating yourself and keeping that motivation, now you are amplifying that, you are putting it out there, and you are trying to get this particular individual or individuals to see within themselves how great they can be and the possibilities of what they can accomplish if they truly start believing in themselves.
Do people like Vidal need more motivation?
Everyone needs motivating from time to time. And Vidal, I see him from time to time. He's now an officer in the military. He's attached to the air wing area, and he's doing very well in life right now, and he's always telling me to come up and show him and the guys some moves, but of course, time. But he does come down from time to time and visit us down at the Southern Warriors.
Is it something, becoming or moving into becoming a coach, becoming a sensei, does that kind of make you stop competing on an individual basis?
No, not necessarily so, because I am not that old, and I and I still believe that I can compete. Actually, I competed up until two years ago at the Commonwealth Sambo Championships, which was held in London. I placed third there, and it was a great accomplishment for me, because I won. I got it coming off of injury, and it was a terrible injury. I had to do knee surgery for it, but I believe I can still bounce back and still continue to compete. So even though I do coach my guys, I inspire my guys, they inspire me to continue competing as well.
You have the mindset of two things. One, a student actually coming and facing you in competition. Yeah. And two, somebody saying, hey, sensei, get beat, boy.
No, let me tell you something. There's nothing wrong with me not winning a particular fight. I don't see, like I tell my fighters, I tell my students every day, we train very hard. Our motto is that we are not ordinary people. We put that out there. So therefore the mindset, definitely it's not one of an ordinary man. And therefore we also cannot accept loss or take loss like everybody else. You know, we must see it in a positive sense, a positive light. And when we go into battle, I tell you guys all the time, if you have to lose impressively all the time. So don't go out there and look like you didn't know anything or you weren't prepared for your fight, because guarantee, I can tell you this, anyone that represents the Southern Warriors of Mixed Martial Arts, they are ready, they are prepared. So on the day, of course, sometimes it may not go your way, you know, but at least I know I'm putting in a prepared athlete to compete.
And that preparation is evident because the results that we're seeing from some of the competitions that you all are entering, it is really impressive.
Yes.
Tell me about CUF.
CUF, we took part in CUF, and we were really psyched going into that tournament. We were really ready. We were confident. I was extremely confident of my athletes going into that tournament. I was not surprised at all of the result. We won every fight impressively there, including breaking a record. We believe so far it seems to be a record, we would say, for now safely within the Caribbean, having one of the first fighters ever to win 4 fights within 1 year without loss. He has never lost a fight. That is Anthony Joseph. He's from Piparo. We have Sion Adha, the first guy from the Caribbean to win the flyweight championship title. You know, Kadin Hope also, he brought his record up to 3-0 without loss. He has never lost a fight. So we have a strong, you know, a strong base, strong thing going on down in South.
CUF is actually Caribbean Ultimate Fist Fighting, and we hope to speak with one of the founders of the competition next week, please God. This is Adam.
Yes.
But in terms of getting someone to join, saying, okay, this is what we're training you towards, what's the mindset of the person that normally finds you at Southern Warriors?
Well, you deal with different individuals. Some people come honestly just for fitness, like one of my past students, but he's still there. He doesn't train for competition anymore, but he's still there. That is Ken Paris, you know, and when he came to me, he just came for fitness training alone. You know, he was into bodybuilding and so forth, and he never saw himself doing MMA, pursuing it as a sport. And within 3 months, I recognized that, hey, this guy has potential to be something more. And I had a little chat with him, and of course, the motivator that I am, I was able to motivate him to compete. And his first fight, he knocked out the guy, I think was in the first round, you know, and he was really impressed with himself. Other fights he went on to win as well. He currently holds the Caribbean Fight League heavyweight title, you know, and he's undefeated right now, you know, and he started off, he was not there for competition. He wasn't there to train in the sport of MMA. He just came to do our fitness program, and there you have it, you know, and he's not the first. We have many others like him that came in just for fitness. And
so say, I'm coming in for fitness.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that need to happen? Is there a diagnostic that takes place that says, okay, well, this person shouldn't be doing this because they might throw something out?
Yeah.
What was the process of joining and actually being a part?
Well, I basically assess you. When you come in, I would see what it is you're capable of doing, what you can handle. It's very easy to see early on, to see how someone responds to different exercises, different sorts of things that we would put them through. Training for the sport of mixed martial arts is not easy, I can tell you that. You know, people, it's just the fitness aspect of it, the warm-up alone. Some people be like, oh man, just for the warm-ups, you know, but it's something that we do. We love doing it. And if you're really, really, truly someone that is concerned about your health and want to get fit and be able to, you don't have to train for what we are doing, but just come, you want to start training and get your body fit and, start exercising, you can come down to the Southern Warriors of Mixed Martial Arts, and we will definitely put together a nice workout package and regime for you.
Coming down to Southern Warriors, I take that point, and also the fact that one of the gentlemen in your stable is from Piparo.
Yes.
Is there any significant challenges, differences doing it in South?
None. None whatsoever. A lot of people told me when I was about to open the dojo in South, they said, Kerry, you're crazy. I think you should go to Port of Spain, you'll get a better clientele. But DK, I will tell you, coming out, I'm a South boy. I am from, we are from South, we are from Gasparilla. That's where I'm originally from. And, growing up, I was always into sport. I was a national track athlete. And like I tell people all the time, one of the reasons why I named the club Southern Warriors, I wanted people to know we're from South, was the fact that in the sporting realm, back in the day, you would be an exceptional athlete coming from South and coming up to Port of Spain to do all the national training and so forth, and they will overlook you for the KRC boys, the St. Anthony's, the St. Mary's boys, and you beating them, You're clocking better times than these guys, and you would even see it in football. And this was back in the day, and I had an issue with that. I remember one time I was personally hurt. They were picking a team to go to St. Kitts. This was for the CUT games, track and field. I made the times, and yet still, they put me as a reserve for a guy that I was beating, DK, that came from KRC. That hurt my feelings, and I never, ever forgot that. Ever. And because of that, I said, what, anytime I'm getting into something, I would let people know, hey, South is full of talent. I would personally go on to say we probably have some of the best talents that came in out any sport out of Trinidad and Tobago came from South Trinidad. And I'm very passionate, just not about Trinidad and Tobago, but my southern people as a whole. So I was, I said, what, let me develop this sport down here, let the base be right down here. And not just Piparo, we have people coming from all over, clients from all over South Trinidad that come to train at the Southern Warriors, and even people from town as well.
That passion that you feel that is manifested when you're speaking about it, it also seems to move into corporate responsibility.
Yes.
What are some of the outreach activities you have?
We have a few. I do work with kids from the Lady Ho Choi home. They were having some issues recently because we were actually trying to get a program up and running, our full-time program running with them. I was in contact at one time with the people from Dretchy. But basically, we really work with, I don't know if you know, the independent senator, I think, who is, he is differently abled. Alright, so we do work with him as well. And we're trying to get a lot of people that believe if you know a child out there or anyone that is differently abled, bring them to the Southern Warriors of Mixed Martial Arts. We will train them. We will give them that motivation that they need, that confidence that they need to go out there and be as ordinary as they can be within the society of Trinidad and Tobago.
That mean balling behind them?
Not necessarily so all the time, but we definitely do motivate, and motivation sometimes do come in the sense of raising your voice a bit.
Now, the first group that you mentioned working with in this capacity is Lady Ho Choi.
Yes.
And I know that the part proceeds of an event that you had went to them. What was that event?
That was our grappling tournament that we held 2 years ago. This was our first event, major event, and it was, wow, it still blows my mind when I think about it. That event, from what people say, it was the largest ever grappling event to be held, not just in Trinidad and Tobago, but possibly in the Caribbean. We had over 230 athletes coming in to compete on the day. Athletes from Grenada, Jamaica, Barbados. We had athletes from all over the Caribbean coming in to compete on the day. And this was, I didn't expect it, to tell you the truth. I just advertised it on Facebook. I thought it would have been a local event, and boom, on the day I saw athletes coming in from Team Jamaica, Team Grenada. I was like, what? So it was a fun day. It was a good day. And
what does that say about the potential for Trinidad and Tobago to branch into different types of tourism? Because we hear about different types of tourism,
Yes.
we hear about diversifying,
Yes.
and sports tourism is one of the things that people talk about from time to time.
Now, we definitely need to invest more in sport tourism. Trinidad and Tobago is a hub within the Caribbean for hosting major sporting events. Mixed martial arts is probably or is still the fastest growing sport on the planet. You know, it really interests people when people see it, especially the younger generation. They're like, wow, you know, and having these opportunities right here in Trinidad and Tobago, it gives us now, people look at the country, they look at us, because right now there are athletes outside of Trinidad and Tobago that call me, message me every day. Can I come to Trinidad to train with you? Can we come here to train with you? And that that in itself, you know, speaks volumes that we are setting the way, we are setting the standards for other islands within the Caribbean now to come here to invest within our society in developing the sport of mixed martial arts.
Do you see the potential for someone just coming to learn, okay, I don't want to go in the ring, but anybody mash my corn, anybody gets me upset, I'm going to wail on them?
No. It's not about that. When you come and you train, especially by me, I can tell you the sense of discipline, the values of discipline is instilled. And it's strange, you would meet an angry person and they would come in and they would train and they would tell you, you know what? You would actually see that as a coach, you know, you actually see that person calming down. You know, you would see things developing there that you didn't see the first time they coming in. But definitely, I can guarantee no one from my club and no one that I know of, you know, that train in the sport of MMA within Trinidad and Tobago has ever gone out there after training and just wailed on someone. It has never happened to my knowledge.
That's why you all treat them so hard, so they're too tired to do anything.
I guess so.
Do you do corporate in terms of having sessions, facilitating sessions?
Yes, I do. I have done work with Arthur Lockjack, wonderful programs coming out there. Dr. Sophia Mohammed, she put together some really awesome programs out there, which I have always been a part of. I thank her very much for the opportunity. We also have I've done work with a few other companies. Names don't come to mind right now, but I was recently in Suriname. I did a few also down in Suriname as well.
People who you interact with at these sorts of occasions, they may not say, okay, well, I'm going to train for health, for fitness, for MMA, for anything. But at the same time, in terms of instilling values into them that help them be a safer person after the fact, what would some of those be?
Of course, definitely self-confidence. You know, when we instill values, one of the first things we always want to build in any human being is a confident level. You know, you have to be confident in life, and in order to accomplish anything, you have to be confident about yourself. You know, and that is something that we take very seriously. Instilling self-confidence in persons, also being able to see good in people. You know, you must be able to see potential. Society and the whole, the humanistic part of us, we have a way we always like to see the bad or the faults. You know, and we have to try and shy away from that and move away from that and start looking for the good in humans. You know, and I believe everyone has good in them, no matter how bad you may think they are. You know, and what you have to do now is just sow a seed and allow that seed to germinate and grow within them, and eventually they themselves now would start seeing the fruits within themselves, and that helps build the self-confidence.
Christmas is just done. We're in the carnival season. What are some of the things you want people to be mindful of?
Oh man, wow. Definitely be aware of your surroundings. I tell people this. You don't have to be a martial artist or a practicing martial artist to start with self-defense. You know, being aware, self-awareness is one of the most important things I can tell anybody. You need to practice. Looking around, use your eyes, be very observant, be vigilant. When you coming out of your car, you know, look to see if anyone is watching you when you're in stores, you're shopping, you're walking on High Street or wherever, Frederick Street. Just glance back every now and again. See if you see a face that you saw, 5 minutes ago around the corner, and that face is still behind you. You have to exercise now in this day and age. We have to exercise wisdom, and unfortunately, this is the way things are now in Trinidad and Tobago. But everyone now has to play their role in securing themselves. You can't wait on the police anymore. You can't wait on the army, because they respond after the fact. You secure you first, and people need to understand that. You secure you first. This is not a political thing. It's nothing to do with PNM or UNC or whichever party is in power protecting you. You have to start protecting you first.
What would you say to someone who says, I don't want my child to get into MMA, I don't want to get into MMA, let me do something that is, I don't want to say more respectful, but a more traditional martial art?
There's nothing wrong with that. MMA was built on traditional martial arts. We still use many different styles. There are karatekas, there's judo. I myself am a student of judo, Brazilian jiu-jitsu. So these are all traditional martial arts, karate, taekwondo. Some guys bring kung fu to the table in MMA. And of course, there's nothing wrong with someone putting their child in one of those classes. At the end of the day, we all try to achieve the same thing, which is disciplining our athletes and producing better citizens for Trinidad and Tobago.
How soon can someone start, in terms of like how young does a child need to be, or how old rather?
Oh, well, at my club, I start kids off from the time they can walk. From the time the child can walk, bring them, and they will definitely be able to start training at the Southern Warriors of Mixed Martial Arts.
And where are you located?
We are located in Marabella, currently obliquely opposite the Marabella police station. Very, very easy to find. It's the building right next door to Value Optical. Really easy to find. As soon as you reach the Marabella police station, Trinidad and Tobago, you've basically found the Southern Warriors of Mixed Martial Arts.
All right, so we want to thank you so much, Sensei Kerry Grant, for actually taking the time to come let us know about Southern Warriors, give us a little idea about safety. We're going into carnival season.
Yes.
And these are things that we're trying to do, and we're trying to raise that visibility here on Talk City 91.1 FM.
Definitely. So thank you again, DK, for having me, and Trinidad and Tobago, stay safe.